So welcome to the recording, the workshop, the Let's Talk Business Coaching. And we're talking about sales and looking at the previous ones we've done. We did touch on this before, but it does seem to be a recurring theme. I mean, for us, our clients in the coaching world, and also for them as well, and doing what they do. So I thought we'd just sort of refresh on some tips and ideas on sales. And the one thing that reminded me was we had an inquiry come in 2 weeks ago for some workshops. And deal is done. We start on Thursday. It's all very, very good. But it's just a really interesting process we went through to get the sale, and I'll explain a bit more detail about it as we go along. But anyway, so Gareth, welcome. You and I are discussing top end, so you can you're unmuted. So good afternoon, sir.
I want to know the process.
And you're in Devon now, not in sunny Shropshire as well. This is amazing. You've moved. So where are you now? What room are you in? The kitchen or something, or the bathroom? Or
this is the attic, I think.
The attic. Just like Quasimodo, is it, or something? They're up in by the bells and that sort of thing. Never mind. Well, because I'm sat in a wardrobe, as you know. You're sat in the attic. Marie is sat in a bomb shelter by the look of it. So it's just fabulous. Is that the heater pipe coming out behind you?
Yeah, because there is a fireplace as well.
You
can't see it, but
it's the log burner. Yeah, okay.
So it's going to be a secondary room for friends and families, visitors.
Very nice, very nice.
For now, it's something.
And you mentioned briefly, just when we're offline, you're on your arm. Is that a tattoo on your arm?
It's a Celtic spiral.
Oh, very cool. That's great.
I have another one as well, if you want. It's a rune.
Ah, okay.
No,
are there significance to those for you particularly, or just pretty patterns?
Yeah, I just love symbols, and especially Celtic and Irish stuff. I have two others, Celtic ones as well.
Oh, very cool. Too much information. We don't know where those are. That's all.
No, okay. It's on the legs. That's okay.
Be very careful asking ladies where their tattoos are. That sort of thing. Anyway, great. Really cool. Really cool. Any tattoos for you, Gareth? Any tattoos you've got at all?
None. Amazingly, no. I mean, Kev must have some, being in the Navy.
Kev's got to have some, hasn't he?
Oh, that's amazing. I missed the whole tattoo train in the forces. Yeah.
I always assumed that when you're in the military, at some point in your career, you end up at some base or port somewhere, and you end up in the
we did happen to get very drunk one afternoon and went to a tattoo parlor with the sole intention of getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
Luckily, thank all the gods that he couldn't fit us in, because I would have absolutely regretted it. But
exactly.
I was there.
That close.
Yeah. So
there's never, I don't know why, nothing against it at all, but tattoos and piercings have never crossed my path. And I've always wondered about maybe a tattoo, but I don't know, never really crossed my mind. My lad Richard, he has the the dark tattoos. They're just they're shaded, not colored. He has a sort of half sleeve, he calls it, on his shoulder here, that sort of thing, from when he was a bit younger.
Okay.
But I've never done it. I know when a client of mine who's a martial artist went to Japan, and he's ex-military. He's what was he in the army regiment? What was he in? I'm going to say the Green Jackets or something like that. Anyway,
could have been.
Yeah, one of those. And he's got tattoos like everywhere. He went to Japan on holiday. He wanted to go in the pool in the hotel. Of course, tattoos in Japan are like, you can't go in the pool because they are associated with apparently gangs and triads and this sort of thing. So he couldn't go swimming in the pool. Anyway, still, never mind. So I can go swimming in Japan, whereas Marie evidently can't. But there you go. Good. Okay, so back on track. What we're talking about, sales. So quick story, just real quick. This recent experience of ours was had an inquiry come in via LinkedIn, a guy that we've known for a number of years, and on and off, this sort of thing. And inquiry come in, like to do some training. Can you give us a price and a quotation? So we had a conversation within 24 hours, did the proposal, had a follow-up, got it agreed with the team, deal done, and away we go. And I said to him after the conversation, I know, why did you pick us? It's great you have. Why did you pick us? Where did you come from? This sort of thing. And he said, well, I've been following you for some time, seen you on LinkedIn, like your stuff. And he said, I'd already bought before you did all this stuff with pricing and things like that. He said, I wanted you to be the guy that was going to do the training for my team. He said, providing everything matched up, which he did. He said, I'd bought probably about a month before I contacted you. And I thought, crikey, that's a real interesting sort of lesson, I guess, for all of us, and me included as well, is that the sales process isn't the sales meeting. The selling starts 6 months away from the conversation. People are buying before we've spoken with them. So then we get an inquiry that comes in, and maybe, in my mind, we think the sales process starts there, but actually it started way ahead if we get it right, I think. So my learning was, or continued learning, was that the sales process starts months ago. But is that an experience you have, Gareth, and for you?
I mean, I had a very similar experience a few weeks ago. We spoke about it. Was out of the blue, got an email from someone who said, "Can we have a chat?" We did within a few days, and I mean, that's something to have those chats very quickly. I think the speed is important as well to get things go. If you leave it a few weeks, I think the boil goes off.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I said to him afterwards at the end of the meeting, just out of interest, where did you find me? Because I hadn't interacted with him at all. And he said, "Oh yeah, I've been following LinkedIn for a while. I love what you do." And he said the words, "You're in my ear," which I thought was an interesting turn of phrase for him to use. Yeah. And it just shows you that that whole process absolutely works.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it doesn't work as often as we would like it to, but it's the consistency, really, isn't it?
But do you think, and it's just something I was sort of considering, given this and other conversations like that we've had via people from LinkedIn, this sort of thing, is there's a big focus on sort of forcing the sales process, generating leads and cold calling and emailing and ramming it down people's throats. And then we look at meetings and conversion rate, that sort of thing. Whereas in reality, a lot of the sales is done before we even start the process. Maybe we should be focusing on the long game, building credibility and stories and network, everything like that. I think the challenge with that is this unpredictable. We'd like to know we're going to get, we send out, 1,000 emails and get 3 appointments or something like that, whatever it is. When we just rely on social media and events and networking referrals and contacts, we've got to trust that it's working and then hope that things show up. But maybe we've got to start playing the longer game a bit more, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think there needs to be a lot more emphasis on the sales call as well, in terms of, if you're going to have a repeatable system, then that needs to be a process and systemized in to make that predictable, if that makes sense. So the predictable part becomes, okay, if I have 5 meetings, I get 1 client, right? So you still have that, but the cold calling and the direct mail and the emails and stuff like that, I think what people like about it is instant feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a meeting or you don't, type thing, and you move on to the next one, which is, whereas the long term is more, to put it bluntly, it's not instant feedback, is it?
No, it's not at all. It's all the opposite. And I do wonder whether emailing, cold calling, direct mail, which there is a place for that in systemized and structure, absolutely, but people focus on that too much because it sort of makes them feel busy. They feel good because they've done a lot of activity. They've had a good day today, sent out 100 letters and this sort of thing, and they go, I'm busy in marketing, and you do get you get things right, but they sort of neglect as you say, the unsung heroes, which is the blog post, the connections, the visibility, the whatever it is that we're doing, because as you say, we don't get the instant gratification back for it, but regularly, we get, I'm sure everybody on here gets it as well, that long-term, I saw your post 6 months ago or whatever it is. We do our weekly, we do an email blast every week to about 1,200 people, I think it is, and the open rates low, the click rate's low, but occasionally every week we get one pop up. And this guy came back and he said, I remember you from a workshop he did back in 2018. It's like, flipping heck. He said, new business started, it'd be great to get together, let's do it in Q4, meet for lunch, and let's kick it off in 2022, which is great, which is like, crikey, that's taken like 4 years to get to this point, pretty much. I guess if we do enough of it, then it's fine, but it's that balance we've got to find, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I think you can find the predictability in everything. You've just got to do enough of it, right? But and with nurturing email lists like that and stuff, it does take longer. Absolutely, it takes longer. But that's what a telemarketer would say is no. What I'm doing is building relationship Okay, and they are, but
Yeah.
also you're doing that with your email list. That's building a relationship. It's just not, you just don't see it. You just got to trust that the system works.
I wonder if the two go together. You know, they see.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah.
Yeah. They see a post or a video and content, and then a telemarketer phones up, or then the letter arrives on the desk or the card or something like that, and we somehow just join the dots, and they go, oh, I'm going to phone this gal, phone this guy, and see what happens. So we're probably going to do both, I guess. But we've certainly got to do, not just rely on the short-term ones, I guess. That we've got to do the long.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, marketing is always integrated. And I remember probably this time last year, I was on the train going to London, and the guy opposite me was talking to his friend and said he had just bought a Time Out chocolate bar. I don't know if you know the Time Out chocolate bars. And then he was scrolling through Facebook, and a Time Out ad came on his phone, you see. Wow. And he said, see, they can monitor our bank, our bank accounts, and right. Stuff like that. Know exactly what we do, and that's not the case. He's been seeing that ad for about 3 years. Yeah. It's just because he's physically bought one. Now his mind is switched on to seeing it. Yeah. And it comes to his conscious mind, if that makes sense. So it's all integrated. I'd like to know how many chocolate bar ads that person saw for the last 2 or 3 years in order to get that purchase. But it brings home that marketing isn't just a one-hit wonder. It is, it's a Facebook post followed by an email, followed by a phone call, followed by a lumpy mail, followed by anything really. But you're followed by a network, seeing them at a networking event and all that kind of stuff. It's all integrated.
We did a networking event called in Luxembourg. And Marie, I'm not sure if you came along to this one. You may have done when we were allowed to do them. It's called LinkedIn Local. And we were advertising. We used to get about 50, 60 people there. And we're going to do some more when we're allowed to, all this sort of thing. And I remember we went in the room, and this lady saw me across the room, and she just made a beeline for me. And I thought, you can sense when she's coming straight towards me. I had no idea who she was. And she said, "You're Dave Holland, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, yes, I am." And immediately she said, "Where's Lynn? Where's your boss? I want to meet with her." Wasn't interested in me at all, but she wanted to meet Lynn because I put up, Lynn was the blonde one or whatever it was, and at events and workshops, all this sort of thing. And she recognized me, but wasn't interested in me at all. Just when I was the link, I was the connection point to go and see Lynn, which was absolutely fine, which I was pretty irritated about anyway, but still. But it is interesting when you meet people face to face on an event or networking, or even to a degree, given the new world, on a Zoom call, it does really bring it all together. And they believe then, like with that Time Out chocolate bar, that this is the right thing to do. It's been in their mind for a long time, decisions made, and the buying decision is made, even maybe in their minds was made subconsciously, 2 weeks ago, and they didn't even realize it, and that sort of thing. So I think it is really, really interesting.
I mean, twice I've been in Starbucks and somebody's come up to me and said, "Oh, you're the guy who does the videos on LinkedIn, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And one said, "Oh, I really love what you do. Keep going," and stuff like that. I've not heard from them again. But one said, "Oh, we should really have a conversation," and became a client a few weeks later. So it does work. It absolutely works.
Brilliant.
And yeah.
I told the story about me on a plane coming in from Paris when I was woken up for breakfast, flying from where's I flying? San Francisco, I think. Anyway, whatever, coming into Paris, and I'm on this plane. We woke us up for breakfast, and there's a family next to me. We're in the cheap seats at the back of the plane, and the wife and the husband and a couple of kids, and the wife is whispering to the husband. They're in a discussion, and they're talking about me. I can hear them. And he's going, "Well, go on, ask him, see if it is. Let's go see if it is." Anyway, she nudged me on the shoulder, and she just looked at me, she said, "It's you, isn't it? It is you." And I went, yeah, it is. And she went, "That's amazing. It's brilliant. I told you it was." And I signed a baseball cap and a magazine or something like that for them. I had no clue who they thought I was. It wasn't me. They thought I was somebody they knew. And they were, as we're getting off the plane, they're hugging, and "It's made my day meeting you, and keep up the amazing work you do." I was going, "Yeah, great. They're fabulous. Have a nice vacation." I never had the nerve to ask them, "By the way, who do you think I am?" Because it clearly wasn't me. I'm pretty pretty sure. I mean, my LinkedIn videos are okay, but crikey, doesn't deserve a hug and a kiss on the back of a plane. But anyways, but they recognized. I was mistaken for somebody else. My fear is it was Johnny Vegas. That was the only thing.
Yeah. You don't really want to ask who they think you are.
Well, no, because it would have burst the bubble for them. The kids were excited, and the husband was excited, and anyway, so. Yeah, but it does work. They've seen somebody who looks like me from somewhere. So in your experience, in terms of building this sort of long game of recognition and validity, what works for you? What's the things you're doing, Gareth, that would be the things to keep on going and systemize?
I think the first thing is it's consistency. Like 100% consistency, and I massively fall down on this, but I find when I am more consistent, it tends to happen quicker, more often. So I think that's the first thing. And you got to be really resilient as well, because, I posted every day on LinkedIn for about 18 months before I got a lead from it. Right. And in that 18 months, there were, I thought, is this, should I even bother? What's the point? Blah, blah, blah. And luckily I kept at it, because LinkedIn really works for me now. So I'm really glad I stuck at it. But had I taken a month off, or 2 months off, or whatever, I would have had to start again from zero. And that's what people don't realize. And it's not just the posting on LinkedIn; it's the interacting. I have a thing I do called 10 before 10, which is 10 comments on 10 different people's posts before 10 a.m. It works so well. It works so well. I now do 20 before 10, which is 20 comments. So I make sure I get that in as well. That has to be done every day. I use Sales Navigator really well, which is so underused by people as well. It's doing all of that activity results in a trickle, and I am talking about a trickle of leads. So
but do you find as well, do you do your activity over a weekend as well, and Saturday, Sundays, and that sort of thing as well?
I post on a Saturday and Sunday because I find that's really good for reach and engagement. But I tend not to engage over a weekend unless it's something that I'm scrolling through my phone and that happens.
I found weekends to be great for engagement. I put a post up on LinkedIn. Let's just check on it now while we're thinking about it. But it said there's a photograph. There's a picture. Richard, my lad over in the UK, he found it, and what he did, he found.
I saw that.
The Liam sat on the sort of threshold of the house, and what he's done, he's found all these old photographs and he's duplicated them with him and Polly. So they've got Polly and Richard sat at the front of their house, the same stands, and anyway, it's a family thing. But I found that photo. Crikey, that was 1986. Which is 35 years ago, which is before most of the people on here were born.
Well, I was 2.
Yeah, thanks. It made me feel very old. But I thought I'll just put it up there. It was a Sunday morning. Here's me and the blonde one, blah, blah, blah. But that picture, it's now got, where are we? Yeah, so where were you in 1986? And it's up to 4,500 views now, comments and like that. If I put a post up around sales or margins and pricing and stock rotations and all the really the good stuff, you get nowhere near the number of, or sometimes nowhere near the number of views. What is your take on sort of personal content as opposed to business content? What do you reckon?
I try and, I think it's the Pareto's law. I think it's 80-20, but I also think that you have to think about the mindset, what mindset it's being received in. So on a Saturday and Sunday, you're on LinkedIn. Yes, you're talking to business people. Yes, it's professional. But on a Saturday and Sunday, when people are scrolling through LinkedIn, they're not in a professional mindset. They're in a family mindset. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. I had a real epiphany moment probably about 3 years ago now, where every Saturday morning I had this routine where I took my daughters horse riding and then I took them swimming lessons. what I'm not a horsey person, so while they're horse riding, I'm not really interested. I know toes up, heels down. That's what I keep shouting at them. I don't know what it means, but the instructor seems to say it quite a lot, so I know it's important. But I was using that time to scroll through LinkedIn, and suddenly I thought, well, I wonder if people like me are doing exactly the same. And of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course, busy people with a family are doing swimming lessons, are doing stuff like that on Saturday morning, and they're doing exactly what I'm doing. Their kids are swimming, I'm scrolling through LinkedIn, right? And that was a real epiphany moment in terms of you've got to, and we always say communication is the response you get.
Yeah.
Other people need to be in the right response mode as well.
Yeah.
It's in order to engage psychologically with your social media. I think that's important. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely, no, it does. I think it's one of those things that sort of but also I think if we look at the people that we tend to work with, best, if you like, they tend to be people like us, in terms of values and vision, family and lifestyle, that sort of thing. So if I put a picture out of a very young looking me, I have to say, and because I did it on Facebook as well, and people came in and they were saying that Lynn looks like the girl out of Dirty Dancing.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Which is, I think we'll go with that one. We'll go with that one. So it's all good fun, but you think you get a different response on Facebook. They're much more, there's some more gifts turning up and this sort of thing, whatever. Whereas LinkedIn's more gentle. But we do work with people who are long-term relationships, families, that type of thing, tends to be the type of people we on average attract. So that is probably attractive to those sort of people as well, I guess. It wasn't sort of engineered that way. It wasn't designed. And I do get slightly concerned if people say they have I know it's good to have a social media plan and, in content and structure, but I think there's also a place for a bit of spontaneity as well, a bit of fun, bit of, from the heart, not the head as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a social media plan, absolutely. So I've got a plan in an Excel spreadsheet of exactly what I'm going to post every day of the month. So I know what I'm posting on I know the subject of what I'm posting on the 31st of August. I might tweak it a little bit. Sometimes I write the posts out, sometimes I don't. I think that's really important. Again, Pareto's law, 80% value, 20% sales, I think is about right for me.
Yeah.
And I'll take into account where people are in the week. So, Friday evening, for example, people don't want a big long post because they're shattered from the end of the week. They just don't want it. Yeah. And they don't want to be sold to either. Yeah. So I tend to keep those posts for maybe the middle of the week. Sunday evening as well. Sunday evening is a great kind of like inspirational, motivational time because people are thinking about the week ahead. No matter how you try not to, 8:00 on a Sunday evening, you are thinking about what you're doing at work the next week. Definitely. So that tends to be a kind of inspirational quote type thing. Yeah. Saturday tends to be this is what I'm doing with the girls, or I'm grabbing a Starbucks or something like that. I think as long as I keep it 80-20, that's about right. For me. And then there will be some posts, which are buy from me.
Of course, I mean, the invitations to a workshop. We've got a coaching slot available. I think that's absolutely fine if, as you say, we've done the 80%. Content and then 20% sales. I keep on getting, even now I get people connect on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well, where within 30 seconds of connecting I get a big message, we've got the solution to your SEO, whatever it is, and now I jump on a call and flipping heck, it doesn't work.
I absolutely love that. I quite like life, so I engage. So I answer those, I think it's brilliant. I
do answer them, but not in the way they anticipate. I don't think. Still.
Oh no, we have a conversation. Yeah. Um,
You've got too much time on your hands.
I know. I was going to add, if only if I have time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think, this whole cliche, it happens on Facebook, happens a lot, but even on LinkedIn, and it always seems to be. And this is nothing against our cousins across the pond. It always seems to be some guy who is sort of James Theodore III, who's got this system of lead generation or something amazing, and he wants to jump on a call, and here's my Calendly, and it's like, wow, he wants to marry me, before I've even met the guy. And I just wonder if that ever works. I mean, it must work for some people, I assume. Somebody must click and go, yeah, I'll talk to you. But it just doesn't. Perhaps I'm old.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. And
Yeah.
Thanks, Sue, for the message about not looking like Patrick Swayze as well. You're very kind. I love you as well. But I think it can be, sales can be too fast. It puts people off to a degree. And I think there is a long game, the better long game in sales as well, which is what we're sort of talking about here. But who here responds? We'll open up a little bit actually. Who here responds to these sort of instant messages of, thanks for the connection. Do you want to get married? Do you want to get a mortgage, have kids, and whatever? Anybody respond positively to those? Is that something that we did? I mean, Gareth has a conversation with them. Very odd, but. I don't know, Marie, what's your thoughts? Do you get those?
I just block them because most of them, it's really sad. We were talking about it last week. Most of them are business coach. And as soon as they see that I'm a coach, they just assume that I don't know how to do business, and they contact me and be like, I'm sure it's really hard. I know how to make you have a great business, whatever. So after like number 10 or something, I was just like, it's already depressing when you're trying to get your stuff together and people are reminding you, yeah, you're doing crap job, I'm going to help you. I'm like, no, leave me alone. I just block them.
But there is a whole business out there of coaches, poaching on other coaches, because they're trying to, as you say, tell them they don't know what they're doing or how they're doing it. And there's a couple of groups out there doing this sort of thing as well, when we've got the secret sauce to generating 10 leads a week and this sort of thing. It's absolute BS. But they do a lot, and I think that they're preying on, not the desperate, but a lot of coaches need to get leads and that sort of thing, and they'll grab at any straws they can get, and it must happen in other sectors as well. But so
I respond with more than happy to jump on a call. I usually charge out a call at this at 495. So just send me your email address and I'll get the invoice over to you.
Brilliant. Very nice, nicely done. I need to bring my high D-ness down a little bit and go into more creativity, because it's just I just go back with, do you want help with your marketing? Because clearly this is anyway. So that's a much better approach. I like that one as well. So so Sue, what's your approach? Anybody pounces on you with messages and that sort of thing, what do you do?
I've had coaches actually comment on my posts and try and sell their stuff on my post.
Oh yeah,
wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not famous enough. I think I'm not famous enough.
But on that point, I had a lady here on the photograph of Lynn and me on the doorstep, and I've no idea, we were connected, a lady called Leslie Nash, and she put, this is her comment on my LinkedIn thread. In 1986, I left school. It's a year that sticks in my mind, one of the worst, whatever. No idea. Anyway, I battled through. Now I own my own property and my own company at www.midlandstranscriptionservices.co.uk, of which I'm very proud. It's like, really, you've gone from a sort of a friendly post through to here's my website. It's like, come on, for goodness sake. But yeah, but when they try and sell on your thread, what do you leave them there, or do you delete them and knock them out?
No, I interact with it.
There you go. Good. I need to learn this skill.
Yeah, no, I do. I interact with it. So, because they're usually talking a load of crap anyway. So it's not difficult to sort of say something that allows everybody else to see what a load of crap they're talking.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
I had an interesting comment last week on a post that I did. Guy I'd never met before. And he put a post on there, and then he said, can you give me a call?
Okay.
So, okay, I'll give you a call. Him and his brother went from 0 to 5 million in 3 years. They're starting up a secondary business which will be turning over 850 million in 5 years. And he was throwing all these numbers at me, and he's got teams in the Philippines and teams in India, and it's all to do with digital technology stuff I wouldn't understand about. I'm not allowed to use the hand controller in our house. And I thought, I really don't know why you've asked me to call you.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, why am I here?
He's been sending messages, he's been posting on my, commenting on my posts. He's been sharing my posts.
It's not Kev, is it? Not this bloke sat over here. It's not Kevin doing this. Is it?
No, we don't even talk to each other on LinkedIn.
I can see you just anytime you guys see each other, he's on this webinar. And anyway, but it is strange, isn't it? But did you get the point when people they do want to, they say, let's have a conversation, and I'm pretty much I'll talk to anybody pretty much, but you do get the feeling, why am I here? What's the conversation about? What is it? Because sometimes you never find out either, but still, no. There are some very strange people out there. But do you guys play this sort of longer game in the marketing? I know you do a lot of activity on LinkedIn, social media. Do you get the same sort of thing? People have seen you around for a while and they eventually pop up and say, let's have a coffee and chat?
Yeah, we've had people sort of and turn up, book on for webinars. They don't always actually turn up for the webinar, but we've had them sort of sign up from all around the world, and you think, how the hell do you know me? And they're Dubai and all sorts of places. But yeah, we get quite a bit of that. You get the occasional, I'm looking for my soulmate and you look lovely.
I get
that all the time.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, I just replied back with, yeah, my husband thinks I'm hot too.
There you go.
And I didn't hear from him again.
Yeah, I don't get those very often. But Lynn, it must be, again, seriously, it must be one of these things for women on social media. There are some very strange people out there that I don't get offers of marriage, or I've got nice eyes or anything like that. Lynn does. You have a lovely smile and this sort of thing. Well, yeah, she has, but crikey, Lynn just sends a message to me, and anyway. But it is something that I guess for women to be more, unfortunately, had to be more cautious about this. I mean, they shouldn't have to be, but I guess they have to be. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. But it's the price you pay for being so gorgeous. See, that's what it is.
Doesn't happen that often, don't worry.
So how do you, with this sort of sales process, you've got the longer game as well, but do you do the sort of the more punchy sales pitch type material as well from time to time to 80/20? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, usually it'll be, we've got this webinar coming up, click here to get your free place or something.
Yeah.
Much more detailed than that. Obviously, I
sure
make it all very nice. I've done a couple of polls of late.
Okay.
And they seem to be quite effective. I did one last week, and it was around customer service, because we were doing a customer service webinar.
Yeah.
And it got over 100 votes on it. So I actually went in and interacted with everyone and thanked them for taking the time to vote on my poll. I got 34 new connections from that.
Wow, nicely done.
So
I think the point you made there is interaction, going back and thanking or sending the results out, all this sort of thing. Really important to sort of close the loop on that, but nicely done there.
Yeah.
One of the things I jotted down when Gareth was talking about, you've got the consistency thing.
Yeah.
I did a video the other day, and I brought up that old, the survey about perceived indifference.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm guessing that in a way that if you are blogging or posting regularly, and then suddenly you stop, there are people who out there who are watching you who could take that as perceived indifference. Oh, he stopped. Yeah, he's not sending me the stuff now. Yeah. I mean, I've people. This morning I was on a networking call. I've got a dog here, wants me to shake his paw. I was on a networking call, and someone's mentioned one of my videos. They've never ever commented or liked one of my videos. Never said anything, but they're watching them.
But there must be a lot of people. So I've got a beagle here as well. Wants me to stroke a head. Crikey, needy beagles. What's going on? They're in the shadows. They must be seeing what we do, not liking, not commenting, not sharing, and then they just pop up somewhere out of the blue. But they're in the shadows. I also find some in a good way, some strange people share my posts occasionally. Yeah, so some I've never heard of this person, and they go there, this is awesome, and they share my post. It's like, crikey. And I do wonder whether it's just they got a quota to fulfill, and they're picking a random stuff and just hoping for the best. But that is the beauty of this sort of social media approach. And in terms of the platforms that everybody's on, I mean, we do LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the 4 main ones. Anybody else doing anything else at all? Any bright ideas for what's working now?
Not Clubhouse.
Hey, yeah, what's happened to Clubhouse? Because Clubhouse was I was even chastised by the top coach in the world for not being on a Clubhouse. So I'm like, oh, you got to be on there. You got to be on there. You got to get control and build it. And I didn't do it. But is Clubhouse still going, or has it sort of died a bit of a death now?
I've not heard anything about it for months.
It's really quiet, because it really made a big splash. Everybody was on Clubhouse, and now it's.
I think while everyone was on lockdown, it was a really good thing. But now everyone's gone back to work. I don't think they can. Yeah. They have the time to. I don't know how anyone has the time to do Clubhouse, because you've got to be on it. That's the problem. So it's not like you can schedule a post, or but you've physically got to be on it all the time.
It's quite strange. On Friday just gone, the Grand Tour guys released a new program. The one going around Scotland. And so John said, well, the release it on Amazon Prime and get it over here. That'd be great. So what on Friday night, then we'll have a pizza. We'll watch the Top Gear, the Top Gear, the whatever it is called. We'll watch that. I said, that's great. And I said to John, well, what time's it on? He said, well, anytime you want. I went, oh yeah, that's right. So I'm thinking in sort of be a BBC 7 o'clock on a Friday, and of course once they release it, it's any time you like.
Yeah.
And I think this is part of the challenge for things like fixed time things where you've got to be there and show up at a certain time. The world doesn't work like that. I think there's 2 points. I mean, you made a great point, Gareth, a couple of weeks ago, was around this sort of subscription mentality of signing up for this, but also there's a flexibility mentality of on demand. And I think that, recording live events are great, but also, recording, downloading, that sort of ability is critical for us as well.
I was asked to speak, do a presentation, a webinar for a ladies networking group, which I did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. They did all the marketing and everything. I just had to turn up and talk, which was great. 40% of people turned up, but it's those that didn't turn up, because the whole thing was, you sign up for this. If you can't make it, don't worry, we'll give you the recording. And I got more interaction from people that watched the recording than those that actually sort of turned up on the day, which I thought was quite strange.
I think it's like the brave new world. People are busy and everybody can't be free at 2 o'clock on a Thursday, whenever it's going to be. They want to be able to download it and look at it in their own time. And great, so be it. I do think there should be, or maybe the opportunity for us is to have, I think I'll continue to do live events and workshops, that sort of thing, and record them, but then have it exclusively available for a month after or something like that, and then maybe we take it down, whatever it is, to try and nudge people along a little bit. But this sort of on-demand availability, because I see like Facebook Lives and LinkedIn Lives as well, and I jumped on a few. I had a look at a few of them and see, some person's popped up, is live, XYZ is live now. I click and sort of have a look. They are absolutely dire. I mean, there's so much junk out there. I'm not suggesting we're rock stars in our own right, that sort of thing, but they're just talking absolute garbage, and there's no quality, there's no value, no content. They're just warbling on. It's like, crikey, so I jump in and jump out again. But anyway, but I think recording is good, download is good, and then send the links out to people. Maybe YouTube is a great place to have content so people can have a look when they want to as well. So if we've got a few minutes left, we've got 10 minutes to go, which is great. Any top tips for us on the call? But anybody listening in, we do get we get millions of views now on YouTube. By the way, is everybody registered on the Athena Rays YouTube channel? Have we subscribed? Well, I'll put the link in here for you, because you must, because then it won't be just me on there. I'll find it, which while we're thinking, because we have one subscriber, and I think it's probably me, actually.
I'm pretty sure I've subscribed.
Oh, it must be me and you. There we go. So let me put this in. I'll put this in. Any tips? Sorry, here we go. Just to.
I think I see it less as sales and more as coaching. I think I'm just coaching in a different way. And I always say it's not selling, it's coaching someone to a decision. I think is the most important thing. And that works with me and my values. And you do it differently depending on where in the sales cycle you are. So that's my kind of mindset around it.
Do you find that, and this is something maybe not pointed at you, Marie, at all, but when I started in this business years ago, and we wanted and needed to get some clients, we were almost in sort of a desperation mode. And I look back on what I was doing back then in terms of sales and marketing. It was different because I wanted to get clients. And I think we've relaxed a bit, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of style. And actually the more relaxed style gets better results. It is more, balanced, more not quite as in your face and dragging people in screaming and kicking. Is there a danger there, do you think, for people in any business, not just coaching business, when they're starting out, they're going to do desperation mode, and that's something to be avoided as well?
I don't think it's just when you start out. I think you can, you lose a few clients or whatever, or, you have a bad month and all of a sudden you're in desperation mode all over again. I think, definitely. And people can smell it, I think, when you're in desperation mode. I think people have a nose for it. And, but it's really hard not to be in desperation mode. I think
it is.
It's really difficult to get yourself out of that mindset. And if anybody's got the answer to that, let me know. But it's I think you've just got to. I mean, this is a tough business. I think that's key. And if you're not resilient, you're not going to do well. I think
I remember there's a guy in the UK, Paul Avins, who's a very good coach. I was on in the franchise with him, still going now, does great work. He's based out of Oxford area. And he said to me once, he said, this business is a very unforgiving business. You've got to be on your game all the time in terms of content and quality and that sort of thing. And I think he was absolutely right. It is a very unforgiving business, more so than other businesses, because we are on stage all the time. We are in the moment with our clients all the time. There's nowhere to hide, and it is unforgiving. That consistency shows through as well. So unforgiving. I think it is very it's fabulous as well.
If you
can keep it going. If you can stand the heat, you're okay.
And I think a lot of coaches, I think people take it too personally. I think the part of the desperation thing is people take it too personally. And you've got to really disassociate yourself. And I've made the mistake, and probably still make the mistake, where somebody says no to you and you feel like they're saying no to you, but they're not. They're saying no to the product.
Absolutely.
Which is a perfectly rational thing that people do millions of times every single day. But it's really hard in this business to disassociate yourself.
It is, because we are our own product to a degree, and it's very tricky. But by the way, just let you know, the Athena Ray's video channel has a 300% increase in subscribers. So who says doing these things don't work? So we now have with 300%. I'm going to go with 300% increase, because in coach world we're good with percentages. So
I love it.
I'm going to put a post there: how to increase your video channel usage by 300%. And email me for details of the secret sauce. We have 3 now, which is fabulous. So great. Anyway, good. Good. Right. Any other tips or questions? Anything else while we're all together? Tips, questions, thoughts, observations? Excellent.
I am a bit like at the beginning, the very beginning, from the beginning, let's say, I really have a problem on a personal level as well with kind of old-fashioned sales. So anything like cold emailing and all this kind of thing. So from the beginning, I started to follow a guy whose business is called Marketing for Hippies. So like it's really kind of more what you were talking about, like the long-term thing and getting connections, building a community and all of that. And but I can feel when I receive all this kind of email, as I said, I block them. And it's funny that you said that the business is a bit unforgiving. I approach somebody who is like a giant name in the world of coaching and stuff, and it was supposedly selling some trainings, well, no, giving the opportunity to people to become a trainer from their program in order for you to sell
This all
to
sounds
sell their
familiar, but
stuff, or
anyway, go on.
to teach it. Yeah, you know where this is coming, but I'm
I
too
know.
new to that. So then I got a call, I organized a call, and I thought we were going to talk about me and my skills and to know if I was able to be delivering those trainings. And it turns out that it was a kind of pyramid scheme stuff. The guy is in the business for the last 30 years and never thought he would need this kind of thing to be up his game, really not. Yeah. I got really disappointed for him doing that, because yeah, it's, for me, it's so old fashioned. It's so like, and I stopped the sales guy at the meeting. I was like, this sales call is the last thing I was expecting right now. And he's like, who is talking about sales call? I'm not trying to sell you anything. No, you tried to get me signing up for a $12,000 training. I was like, yeah, that's a sales. So
It's a
yeah.
scam. It's a scam.
Yeah.
It's a picture, allegedly a scam. I'm going to say illegally, but there's a load of them out there. I think, I mean, I've been in this business for long enough, Kev, so you've been in this business for long enough as well, and Gareth. There are a lot of people who only make money from other coaches. They never have any proper clients. They just sit and they parasite on the back of other coaches, and they go and say, oh, well, this is how successful we are, this sort of thing. I think there are a lot of good people out there in coach world. There just are. There's a group on this call here that's we're together. But if at the sharp end, if you are out there working with clients yourself who are not coaches as well as coaches, and you're at the sharp end, marketing and selling and closing and getting results and success, those are the people we want to hang out with. That's what I've done in my career over the last 18 years, is work with people who are good at, great coaches, but they're actually good at what they do as well, not just coaching other coaches. I saw there was an award given out and over the weekend, doesn't matter who it was, and this guy's going, I've got this amazing global something XYZ award, and the award is for helping other coaches. Like, well, great, good for you. But talk about a pretty desperate market. You can't sell to coaches, you can't sell to anybody. Yeah, they're all struggling. So it's an easy sell. People who are working in the coach world with proper clients who then can help coaches and give them a leg up, that sort of thing. Great, hang on to them, but it's a real shame. Don't
I think it's interesting.
Heroes.
I think it's interesting what you said there, Maria. I think mindset is really important as well. And a few months ago, maybe more than that now, I went into a client, and he has a team of telemarketers in the back, a team of them, and it doesn't matter what he sells, but it's loads of them. And in the middle of the meeting, he's convinced that telemarketing doesn't work. Yeah, he's got a team of them out in the back, and during the meeting, his phone rang, and he said, "Oh, just hang on a second." And he picked up the phone, and then he went, "Oh," and he swore, "Oh, F off," and slammed the phone down, right? I went,
telemarketing.
Who was that? And he went, "Oh, idiot cold callers, blah, blah." I was like, oh,
it might have been one of his. Could be one of his own. You never know.
There's a whole element to unpack there of, is that your mindset that you're transferring onto your telemarketers, or, if that's what you feel, how do they feel, and how do the people you're trying to reach feel? And it's part of the reason why I engage with cold DMs, is because, and I've done telemarketing in the past. I don't do it right now, but I have done it in the past. And if any telemarketer wants to call me, I'll have a chat with you. I'm probably not going to buy from you, but I'll happily have a chat and be nice and courteous and all that kind of stuff. Because A, I know what it's like. I've done telemarketing, and B, I think you have to, if you have a mindset of another cold call, that's what your customers are doing, I think, on the other end of the phone, right? So I think you've got to be open. I think you've got to keep an open mind to things.
I think I had a message on that point. We don't get many cold calls coming because we're a Luxembourg number, so the Luxembourg's not known for cold calling. But we have messages come in. I had a message come in on LinkedIn again, and this guy, he found me. Oops, just a second. So I'll find it. I'm not going to name him, bless him. But he said, where are we? Here we go. This message was, hello, David. We recently connected. I hope you're busy and business is good and blah, blah, blah. And he was really engaging. I like your profile, I like your site. And this is all great. As the FSB local membership advisor, I'm interesting business owners online across your area in every imaginable industry, blah, blah, blah. I want to refer people to you. I want to have a conversation. Here's my Calendly link. And I went back and said, thanks very much. I'm happy to chat. I will, but we're based in Luxembourg. So anyway, that was it. And then he blocked me. Like, well, if you're going to send me a message like that, at least go, oh, well, hi, thanks for responding and have a great day and let it go. Not just ignore completely. So just very, very strange. But
I mean, another tip for DMs as well, and especially LinkedIn, when you can tell it's an automated one, it's a bot. I always reply with, oh, great, thanks. How's your dog? Because the robot can't process that, you see. Right, yeah. So you either don't get a response or you get a completely random, gibberish response.
Okay.
Yeah, because the robot doesn't understand that, you see. So that's if I've got 5 minutes and I fancy a chuckle, I'll often do that.
I heard something the other day that was about psychology. And I don't quite fully understand it. It's something I'll dig into. But the way you buy or the way you don't buy is the way you won't sell. So if you're putting the phone down to direct to cold callers, and you can't be a cold caller and things like that. Yeah.
And similar to that, I follow the mantra of I got to get the right word. Sellers are buyers, I think, and if you are selling stuff, you have to be prepared at some point to put your hand in your pocket and buy. I think there is something in that.
Yeah, you do. I think, but again, there's an opportunity. If people's marketing is so bad, that they need some help and support from us.
But this is the thing, and you say that. I think it's really true because what is every junk mail person or telemarketer or what are they trying to do? They're trying to grow their business. Guess what I do? I help you grow your business. So I think there's a lot in that as well.
We had a guy phone us. The only calls we get on the mobile is from Vodafone, because we're on pay as you go. It's a UK number. We can't get a contract and this sort of thing. And every 3 months, some lad or girl in the office who's obviously new, here's a list, phone this lot, get them transferred to a contract. And we're in the garden here, the phone rang, picked it up, and the guy said, sorry to bother Mr. Holland, XYZ from Vodafone. And I said, we had a chat for about 20 minutes, and he was at university trying to make a bit of cash. I said, look, we can't transfer, you won't give us a contract. I said, but the work you're doing must be pretty soul destroying. How are you getting on with it? And he was just a genuine lad. And we've got to remember that regularly it's just somebody at the end of the phone or the email or the letter that is just trying to make a buck. That's what we're all trying to do. And if we play nice with them, whatever, play nice, because you never know, where they're going to take that information with them. He was a student trying to make a bit of extra cash. Well, away you go. Good for him.
I've had people put the phone down on me, telemarketing, and treated me really badly and stuff like that, who now in the area, I won't use their business, even though I have a need for it, right? So, and there's a particular printers that I'm thinking of right now who gave me a lot of abuse when I first started out, like a huge amount. Yeah. And I really need printing done.
Guess what?
Yeah. So I'm going to their competitor, almost certainly. And, I had one yesterday where a hotel I stayed at in 2016 phoned me yesterday.
Wow.
And said, we've got a special offer for guests who have only ever stayed at our hotel and it's exclusive to blah, blah. Yeah. And I said, look, I've got no plans. And I know the hotel industry is on its knees and all that kind of stuff. But I said, look, I've got no plans. But I had a really nice chat with the girl who, was grateful, I think, for, someone who didn't slam the phone down, and I think if it takes 2 or 3 minutes out of my day, that's a good thing to do.
Absolutely. No, yeah, be nice. I think you never know. Because the thing we have to remember, we're all in the same game, aren't we?
Yeah, totally.
Everybody in business you've got to do sales and marketing before you can deliver your products. So let people do it, allow them a bit of slack. And as long as they're not aggressive and, pretty eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
We had Jehovah's Witnesses knock on the door here.
That's okay. It's cold calling.
Well, that's cold. Yeah. And Joe answered the door. The Jehovah's Witnesses got away. We got to go. He just kept gabbing to him. And
But that was right. Lynn's mom, when she had Jehovah's Witnesses come in, she would bring him in for a cup of tea because he'd just sit and chat to them. She was so friendly and so lovely. We used to go there and there'd be like copies of the little books and magazines dotted around. And she had no clue they were trying to recruit her. They just thought nice people having a cup of tea, bless us. And they are nice people. We had, I don't know if I showed you this one, this letter, I've kept it, just a second. Oh, got some coffee on it. This letter came in to us at the house when we moved in here. So it's in June. And this couple, it was Hankler and Manfred Beth, and I had to sort of get it translated. These are Jehovah's Witnesses. So rather than knocking on the door during COVID, they're doing direct mail now. Very nice letter, handwritten.
They need to change that into lumpy mail. I think.
Well, it is lumpy now because I spilled my coffee on it, I think. But I thought, wow, this is, and I read it and translated it and that sort of thing back in March. But anyway, so yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses doing direct mail now as well, so there's no escape. I didn't go to the meeting. It was a Zoom meeting, a Zoom meeting for their church or something, bless them. But anyway, let's be nice to everybody, eh? Let's be nice. All right, good. Well, I can sense, I smell that something is cooking downstairs, so sounds very hopeful. So dinner might be on the way.
I'll be over in 10.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, welcome. You want to come along. So, guys, thank you for
coming. You've got to order it on the app, Gareth.
Yeah, don't.
I just zapped in quick. It's gone 7 o'clock. It might be too late now.
And don't try and get a veggie burger.
That'll teach you to eat for eating healthy, won't it? You see?
No, exactly. I'm not veggie, but I like to order veggie burgers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. This is the whole. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Great to see you all. Thank you for participating. Hope it's helpful. I'll stop recording in a second. I can now download it onto the Athena Race site within 30 seconds. So it'll pop up there magically in a few minutes. We'll be well. So thank you. Great to see you. I'll see you next week. Speak to you anon. Have a great week. Keep me posted. I'll see you all real soon. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.